Our next reader is Gaby Williams. Gaby told me that her favorite Christmas tradition is baking cookies with her family. And so, that night, sugar plums danced over Gaby's head. She looked up and shouted, "Get out of my bed!" She felt all around her and looked over her sheets. Every inch was filled with red and green Christmas treats. There were reindeer-shaped cookies and Santa hat truffles. Figgy pudding spilled out from under dust ruffles. Whenever she moved, there arose such a clatter, from bowls overturned full of thick fruitcake batter. To escape from her bed, she needed a route. She had no choice. She had to eat her way out. Please welcome Gaby Williams.
That's a true story of me getting out of bed every morning. Okay. Sleep patterns. Outside a store open late, there was a lemon tree, but not the whole tree. It had blood fruits instead of lemons. This is where I danced with my sister. She told me this is where all things glow. But back then, I called her by another name. She said this tree had too many flowers, so we renamed it the Hush Tree. This meant something to someone. On Saturday, she tells me I can keep my wisdom teeth. I settle for water with no paddle. Sometimes she looks like a gun from the inside, her small spaces, her skull, etc., they glow. I said, someone died. After that, people stopped bathing, stopped brushing their hair. Everyone's fingernails grew to enormous lengths. Dawn. Without the characters or articles, what is left? I tried to use hieroglyphics to make something more than a list. So if each day all you have to do is smile or wake up or show up, how does this become a net, sticky spinner, tired time of day? I know when you're most attentive because you're always referencing things that are limitless. Go back to the marathon story, count backwards from 25. The next thing you know, you've got plenty of sleep, nothing is done, your spinneret body tossing in your towel, telling you about yourself. A normal life isn't really ideal. Dancing, for instance, is a lesson teaching you how to be a stranger, a skeleton, or a piece of candy in between. Two skies. If the sun is out, I look for hope on the tops of buildings and rooftops. Sometimes I think there are only two choices. One is a bag full of paint ready to let go. The other, a wet wall too high to climb. The same train passes by and no one thinks it's beautiful. When will the starless sky become a phenomenon? When will the dual purpose of any person become a practical solution to giving in? The pressure happens here, a constant state of useless innovation. I'm trying to do twice as much with half a head. In the meantime, here's a small root that hopefully grows and grows. Tiny star. We found our dog belly up in the bathtub. Everyone's pets were dying, so we had tiny pet funerals with tiny pet eulogies, piling dirt upon dirt in someone's backyard. Little parts ripened and fell away. The sun left us, and we turned into stone. The next day is taken for granted. The beach grew tired of us and turned into concrete, our dry and sunburnt bodies pressed between the plastic of the recliner. We didn't have anything in common, so we talked about the importance of a toothbrush, the closed doors, and dying swan. We bet one we left and loved against one that didn't materialize. We call this day its name. We do not name each other. We check behind every window and every light. This is a house where we escape at the top of a stone tower, leave holes in the fish tank, and hiccup over the ruined parts. The lights here can be seen from space. Sometimes they shine over the mountain, but more commonly, no one notices. The buffalo are still alive here, traveling down the rails. The absence is a lance. The separation is an area I remove from myself, the half of your head and heavy hand. The space between us becomes an outskirt I cannot reach. We try transcending to wilderness, then eclipse. I heard a story about your shoulders slouching forward from the dead wishes I've sent you. What flower gets sent to the funeral? Is it cruel not to cry when you're held above my head like a sacrifice? Novelties. 1. When we were ordinary criminals, the clay pot was a woman part of him. 2. The inside of a blueberry isn't blue, an innocent view of the world. 3. Once you're dead, you become a misnomer made from sand, peach pits, and phantom hearts. 4. The sky assumes the hole I paint is a frame for your body. The sky assumes your casket is something many have seen before. 5. The story, well, nothing happens out there. Sometimes you're in a hurry, an urge to go see the field, the foul lines, to talk about what we wouldn't have. 6. A true pain does exist, but it's a burden to name. Thank you.